I'm here to speak out regarding the atrocities that have occurred in the school district. Atrocities that have occurred because Superintendent Gina Potter and her administration have allowed them to. One such atrocity was the horrific case of sexual abuse against a preschooler that occurred at Sunset Elementary in January of this year. Superintendent Potter, her board, and her administration were aware of this case, yet she ignored her legal obligation to notify parents, as the perpetrator was hired to work at all school sites. It wasn't until September where only parents of the affected classroom at Sunset were notified, quite vaguely, and did not have their questions answered. Later, it was only until parents from the community came to speak out on what had occurred in a public board meeting that Dr. Potter released a vague, lackluster statement on the matter, misleading parents, labeling a case of sexual abuse against a minor as a mere school safety incident. The fact that you thought that you could hide this from parents for 8 months and then deliberately mislead us is one of the many clear examples showing the low regard in which you hold our community's intellect. That's insulting and repulsive. The same was done when I was harassed by a substitute teacher as an 8th grader at Sims, a grown man who asked that I meet him outside of school. I was 13 and terrified of what that teacher could do and questioned whether I was safe at school at all. No proper measures were taken in this alarming case beyond him not returning to my school site. It was then that I lost all trust in the district superintendent and her administration. However, I would like to thank my teacher, Mr. Alvis, for supporting my mother and I during this incident. He's a truly wonderful science teacher. There is another case in which a different substitute teacher who was hired by the district for 30 years also sexually harassed students. Dr. Potter has done absolutely nothing to stop this type of abuse from occurring, but gave us insincere sympathy, allowing it to continue. In all of these cases, Superintendent Potter and the SAN YSIDRO School District Board didn't want to deal with all the necessary changes it would bring to this district, and didn't want to deal with such a mark on their reputation. However, ignoring and worse, hiding these acts from families who only want to protect their children is appalling and even downright complicit. How could you possibly find it morally acceptable on your conscience to hide the abuse of children happening on your campuses, especially considering some of you are parents yourselves? How dare you value your image, salary, and position more than our children? I think that's outrageous.
That's right, yep.
You treat us, our children, and our grievances about the issues in this district like a mere inconvenience, as something that blocks you from sitting comfortably or from climbing your political ladder. You truly don't care. You say you do, but you don't. Your actions, your mockery, and your lack of care for the safety of our children, they speak volumes compared to your rhetoric. Superintendent Potter has failed to fulfill her job as superintendent and has failed to keep students safe. You have failed our children. This is why we, the parents, asked Superintendent Potter to resign immediately. And to Board Member Martinez, how dare you claim to be a victim of intimidation when the true victim was that 4-year-old little girl, sexually abused by one of your employees? True victims are the students with fear. That